Evav Omid Beis, 86. B. Boy mine Rami Barcham Rav Chizda. Hareze Gitech, man gives a woman a get, below Tizgar Shibo, Elalachar Shloishim Yom. But it should not take effect until after 30 days. V'holcha v'inachito b'tzidei Rosh Hashanah. She put the get down in the sides of the Rosh Hashanah, which is open to the Rosh Hashanah. It's not the Rosh Hashanah mamish. And the get was there at day 30. Mau. Amarle and Megureshes. And we learned that with Rav Shmuel, Rav Shmuel Damer Tavai, V'hu should sibur and munachim Rosh Hashanah. That, remember we said that a person who's going to be toifes something, he can only be toifes it in Rosh Hashanah where somebody doesn't have a kinyan in his own item. That's why the tfisa works, because the bailen doesn't have a kinyan there. So therefore, she doesn't have a kinyan in the get. So there's somebody on the door. So therefore, the get is not chal because she doesn't have it in her possession at the end of 30 days. Who's there? So where's the Zadi Rabbah? Migureshes, mid Rav Nachman. It is Migureshes. Because Dam Rav Nachman Rabba Ravua, Oimel Chavero. Person says to his friend, Meshoch Parazu, do Meshich on this cow. But you'll only acquire it after 30 days. We say Kana. Even if it's in a Makam Hefker, it's out in the field. Since the kinyan was done now, even though it starts later, it works. My love, I know Agam, I don't see Rosh Hashanah. The Gemara wants to say that when the woman puts the get in the Tzidei Rosh Hashanah, it's the same like an Agam. The Gemara says low. Agam l'chud v'Tzidei Rosh Hashanah l'chud. The Tzidei Rosh Hashanah are considered like Mamish Rosh Hashanah, and the Agam is not. Ikid Yamri Amar Le Megureshes Midrav Nachman. V'Tzidei Rosh Hashanah ka'Agam dami. That there is a she is Megureshes because the sides of the Rosh Hashanah is like an Agam, and therefore just like you acquire the paro through Mashiach and the Agam, you acquire the get as well. And Ad Rabba and Megureshes mean Rav Shmuel. My love, Hainu Rosh Hashanah, Hainu Tzidei Rosh Hashanah. Because it's not Megureshes, because it's the sides of the Rosh Hashanah are like the Rosh Hashanah Mamish, and there's no kinyan. The Gemara says, "Lo Rosh Hashanah l'chud v'Tzidei Rosh Hashanah l'chud." So the halacha is that the Shulchan Aruch brings Nosan lishto get. Lo amar lo shelo disgarish baralachar shloshim yom. V'nichotzu ha'isha b'Tzidei Rosh Hashanah v'nignav o'avad. She put it in the sides of Rosh Hashanah. Hareza Megureshes. Hoil v'haya get kaim b'yom shemitzgareshes bo. V'yichta also b'mokom shein Rosh Hashanah, and it was placed in a place that's not mamish Rosh Hashanah. Period. Mishnah. Hamoishe v'zishto chen v'nis. Husband appoints his wife to run the store that he owns. Oh, Shemina Apatropa. The husband appointed her to be the executor of his estate. Hareza Mashbiach Kozman Sheyirtze. Whenever he wants him to take whenever the husband wants her to take a shvuah that she hasn't appropriated any of the funds, he can have her take the shvuah. And Rabbi Eliezer Omer Afilo Apilcha V'Alisasa, even on threads or a dough that she's making, he can make her take a shvuah that she hasn't been ganifed, she hasn't stolen these things. The shvuah on the threads and on the dough, is that lechatchila that he can take her, or there's a gilgul shvuah? That means if she's taking a shvuah for something else, he can add that into it. Toshma, Omer Lor Rav Eliezer, Ein Adam Darim Nachash B'Kfifa. The Chachamim disagree. Husband can't make her take a shvua anytime he wants. It's like living with a snake in the same basket. And a woman can't withstand living like that, who's suspicious that she's stealing. So that's what the Brisa says. So if lechatchila, not a gilgul shvua, he can make her take a shvua any time. So we understand Shapir. That's why they said to him, "Ein adam darim nachash b'kfifa." I mean, if it's only a gilgul shvia, she's having to take a shvua anyways. Why would that be considered living with a nachash and a kfifa? Because the amrlei kiven kidgait. The daikis besroy kulai, you are checking after me so carefully. Lo matzina dadur badach. I don't want to stay married to you. Toshma. Areish lo pater sishum laneder min hashvua. In the Tanai Ksuba, he didn't say in the Ksuba that he's not going to make her take neders and shvuas. And therefore, if he appointed her to run his store, or as an executor, he's allowed to make her take a shvuah whenever he wants. If he hasn't put her in that position, Rabbi Eliezer says he can still make her take a shvuah. A woman is always in charge of some assets, a piece of thread, some dough that she's making. And which sounds like the Baal has the right to make her take ishvu l'chatchila, not just a gilgul shviyah. Shma mina l'chatchila, shma mina, it's a good raya. Mishnah. Kosav la neder u'shvua ein li alayich. He writes in the ksuba, I'm not going to make you take a shvua. Ein yochel ashbiyah. He can't make her take a shvua. Aval mashbiyah with your sheh. But he can make her heirs take a shvuah, or anybody that's going to stand in her shoes. If he says in the ksuba neder u'shvuah, ein li alayich v'al yoshach v'laboin b'shusech, eina yochel ashbiyah lo hi v'lo yoshev v'lo saboin b'shusach. If he uses that full language, he can't make her take a shvuah, not the Yorshim, and not the people who stand in her stead. Aval Yorshav mashbinosav. His heirs can make her take a shvuah that their father didn't give her some money, whatever. And Ves Yorshav, the Yorshim of the husband can make her Yorshim take a shvuah. Ves Abayim B'Shuso, and anyone who's representing her. But if in the ksuba, he writes, Neder u'shvua ein li v'lo leyorshi v'lo lebayim b'shusi, alayich v'yoshach v'labayim b'shusi, then eino yochel ashbiyah. He can't make her take a shvua. Lahu v'lo yorshav, not him, not his yorshim, v'lo lebayim b'shusi, not people who stand in his stead. Lo osav v'lo yorshav v'lo lebayim b'shusi. Not her yorshim, and not any of her representatives. She went directly from bearing her husband to her father's house. Or from the funeral, she goes back to her father-in-law's house, but wasn't appointed the executor. Well, she's had no shaykhs to his estate, so Eina Yorshim Ashbinosa. So the Yorshim can't make her take a shvuah. V'im nasis apetropia, Hayorshim Mashbino Salah Asid Lavo. On any future transactions, the Yorshim, meaning after the death of the husband, the Yorshim can make her take a Shvuah. But Vein Mashbino saw a Masha Avar when the husband was alive. Now, Shvuah Mayav, what is this? What Shvuah are we talking about? That a husband is going to write in a ksuba that he's not going to make his wife take a Shvuah. Amid Amarav, ala Petropi Shanasis B'chai Baila. That if he's going to appoint her executor on his estate while he's alive, by making that statement in the ksuba, he's not allowed to make her take a shvuah. Rav Nachman Amar Rabba Ravua ala poigemes ksubasa. Let's say a woman admits that she received a portion of the ksuba from her husband, so she has to take a shvuah that she didn't take more. So that's the shvuah that we're talking about. That he might write in the ksuba that he's never going to make her take a shvuah, even if she's poigemes the ksuba.
It's like motive of mixes.
It's a mod, yeah, but we'll see. It's not really a shvuah deraisa. Ozil Rav Mordechai Amr L'Shmaitza Kamed Rav Ashi. Rav Mordechai learned the sugya in front of Rav Ashi. I understand why the husband is going to make a statement that he's never going to make her take a shvuah on the case of poigemes ksubasa. A woman will think that, I might need money. So I'll take some that is in my ksuba. Va'amra lay, and she requests the husband to write ksovli de lo mishbatli, that you're going to write in the ksuba that you're not going to make me take a shvuah. Because that's something that might commonly happen during marriage, that she might need some money. According to the Banda Omer, that the statement in the ksuba that he's not going to make her take a shvuah is because of Allah Petropia Shanasa B'chaya Baila. How is a wife going to know when they write the ksuba that he's going to ever appoint her to be executor? In order for her to say the Amr Le Ksovli de lo Mishbatli. So Amr Le Asuna Hamas Nisan Law. You learn that way, says Rav Ashi. Anan Hamas Nisan Law. We learn like this. She went directly from her husband's grave to her father's house, never went to where the assets are. She went back to her father-in-law's house, but was not made the executor. The Yorshin have no right to make her take a shvuah. But if she was made the executor, Yorshin Mashbin also al sid lavo. The Ein Mashbin also al sha'ovar. But they don't have the right to make her take a shvuah past. Now sha'ovar ma'avidite. What ovar? I mean, Amarav ala patropi shenasa b'chayabal. That, and if she had been declared the executor while the husband was alive. Aval bein misa l'kvur mashbin law. But between the death and the kvura, they could make her take a shvuah. And it's on that shvuah that she might ask him to write in the ksuba that he's not going to be mashbia her. Rav Masdo Amar afilu bein misa l'kvura lo mashbin law. Rav Masdo knows no, even between misa and kvura, they can't make her take a shvuah. The army na'ador l'charga l'mezoniv l'kvura mezabinim b'lo achzarta. For taxes, for feeding the children, and for burial purposes, you can sell assets of the deceased even without a public declaration, because it's emergency. We're not medagdek. Normally we are machriz because we don't want the yorshim to lose, so we're machriz to get a good price. But in these cases, since we need the money cash quickly, we're not careful. We don't have to be machmas. We don't make her take a shvua. Amar Rabba Rav Chia. The law neder the law shvua. If he writes that in the ksuba, who eino yochel ashbia. So he can't make her take a shvua. Aval yorshim must be no so. His heirs can. But if he says naki neder naki shvua, you're going to be clean of neder and shvua. So then bein yorshim ein must be no so. Then neither he nor the heirs can be mashbia. Because hachi karmela menakes mishvuasa, you're going to be clean from shvuas. However, that's the way Rav Chia learns in the name of Rabbah. But Rav Yosef and Rav Chia, the law neder the law shvua who ain't yochel ashbia aval yorshim mashbinosa. Same din that he can't make her take a shvua, but the yorshim can. Naki neder naki shvua bein yorshim mashbinosa. Hachi karmela naki nafshach b'shvuasa. You will have to be mashbia to make yourself clean if somebody questions you. Shalach Rav Zakeh lemar ukva. Bein de lo shvua, bein de naki shvua, bein de lo neder, bein de naki neder. If he adds the words b'nechosai in my assets, hu eino yochel ashbia aval yorshim mashbinosa. He can't make her take a shvua, but the yorshim can. Michnasai elain. If he says these assets, then bein hu bein yorsha bein mashbinosa. Then nobody can make her take a shvua. Miriam, bein de lo shvua, bein de naki shvua, bein de lo neder, bein de naki neder, bein menachasai, bein menachasai elain, bein hu bein yorsha bein mashbinosa. Neither he nor the yorshim can make her take a shvua. Aval, ma'es asherei amru chachamim habali par menichsi yisomim. A woman who comes to want to collect her ksuba from the assets of yisomim lo yipar lo b'shvua. That's a din in yisomim, and that we can't get away from. So she will have to take a shvua to the yisomim if she wants to collect from the yisomim. Viki Ramila Masnisa Abashol Benima Miriam Amar, Bain de lo shvua, Bain de naki shvua, Bain de lo neder, Bain naki neder, Bain ben nechasa, Bain ben nechasa Ilan, Bain hu, Bain yorsha, Bain mashbinoso. Aval my asset. Shei Arlu Chachamim Abali Par Menichsi Yisrael Lo Yipar Lo B'Shvua. Rav Nachman Amar Shmuel Halacha Keben Ima Miriam. That's the halacha. Mishnah. Hapogemes Ksubasa. She admits that she got partial payment of her ksuba. So lo tipara, the rest cannot be collected ela b'shvua, because we're concerned that if the husband gave her some of it, he might have given her all of it. So if she wants to collect the remainder, she has to take a shvua. Eid echad meida shehi prua. One aid comes to say that some of the ksuba or all of it had been paid off. So lo tipara ela b'shvua. So that creates a situation with a woman to collect whatever she's claiming, she has to do it with a shvua. Now,
Is that considered shvus hesed because it's only one aid? How would it, that's the only way you can do it. One aid has no,
we learned already the last few days that one aid can weaken the koyach of a star. It doesn't ablate it. If she takes a shvur, she collects, but it weakens the value of the star. One aid.
So is that
It doesn't wipe it away. It doesn't wipe it away. You have to, if two aidim come to say the star never happened, that's it. You can't collect with it. But with one aid, it weakens it to the point where to collect on it, she has to take a shvur. Now, if she comes to collect minichsa yisomim or menachasim mishubadim, the husband had sold a field to somebody else, which is post-dated the ksuba. So she had first claims on it. So she's allowed to go and collect it from somebody that had bought a field. She has a prior lien. But in all of those cases, she has to take a shvua. Or shelo b'fanav, he's in China, So lo tipora ela b'shvua. So the Mishnah says apogemes ksubasa ketzad. Haisa ksubasa elav zuz. It was $1,000. The armor lies kabalt ksubasayich. And the woman comes to collect, and the husband says, I paid you. The whole thing. You only paid me $100. So if she wants to collect the other 900, lo tipora ela b'shvua. So she can collect by taking a shvua the other 900. Eid echad meida she prua ketzad. Haisa ksubas elav zuz. The amar lo is kabalt ksubasayich. The husband says, I paid it off to you already. The omeres lo is kabalti. She said, I didn't get anything. The eid echad meida she prua. 1/8 says that it was paid, so she can still collect with a shvua. Lo tipora ela b'shvua. Minachasav mishubadim ketzad. Machar nechasav lacher. The husband sold a piece of land. V'hi nifras b'nalakuchos. And it's the only asset available to pay her ksub, and she goes and gets it. She can only take that piece of land, lo tipora ela b'shvua. Menichse yisoyim ketzad. Mace, the husband died. V'nich nechasav liyisoyim. He left over all of his assets to the Yisomim. And she's coming to collect her ksuba from the Yisomim. V'hi nifras b'nai Yisomim. Lo tipar lo b'shvua. V'shalo b'fan of ketzad. Halach lo ndin sayam. The husband goes to China. And from China, he sends her a get. And v'hi nifras, and she comes to Bezdin and shows the get and wants to get paid. And in Nifras el b'shvua, she gets paid with a shvua. Rav Shimon Amar Kozman she tovas ksubasa, hayorshim mashbinosa. When she comes to collect her ksuba, the yorshim can make her take a shvua. V'imena tovas ksubasa and hayorshim mashbinosa. When she's not coming to collect, the Gemara will explain what Rav Shimon means. Savar Rabbi Bar Chama lemar shvua doraisa. That the shvua that she takes is a shvua daraisa. It's as if like the koton mosayim, like when a person says, you owe me 200. And the guy says, no, I owe you 100. He's a moide b'miktsas. There's a shvua daraisa. So when the Mishnah describes a case where she claims the ksub is 1,000, and he says, I paid you off. And she says, no, you only paid me 100. So it's similar. Havale hodah b'miktsas atayna. 1 second. Hi, Puya. Can I call? I'm teaching a class right now. Can I call you back when I'm done here? I'll call you back. I'll prove to you 2 reasons why it's not a shvua deraisa. Shtei tshuvas b'dar. Chada, the chola nishboin shebetoira nishboin v'lo mishalmin. Moide b'miktsas means I loaned somebody $200, and I want this guy to pay me, and he says I only owe you. I paid you back 100. He takes a shvua and doesn't pay me the remainder. The shvua midoraisa is to take a shvua not to pay. But in our case, she's taking a shvua and collecting. That's number 1. The odd. There's no shvua min Torah only regarding metaltalin. If someone's claiming land, and by a ksuba there's a shibud on land, there's no shvua moide b'miktsas. So two svaris why it's not a shvua deraisa. Elo amarava midrabanan. This shvua is a shvua midrabanan. Now why? The para dayik, a person who pays off somebody is very careful to count everything. The mifra lo dayik, when a person gets paid, he's not that careful how much he got paid. Therefore, Rama Rabbanan Shvua Allah ki heiche detedek. We want her to be careful and detailed. And therefore, if she's going to claim that she wasn't paid, let her take a shvua. Iboiluhu. Poigemes ksubasa be'edim mahu. If there were two edim that said she received a portion of the ksuba, so im isa de pra, so do we say, hi Mike, do we say, if it's true that it was paid, be'edim have a parala? Well, he would have paid all of it be'edim. Oh, Dilma Isrami. No, maybe he paid off $200 of the $1,000, and at that time he had some edim. So he made sure he paid the 200 in front of edim. It's not necessarily that he didn't pay her off anymore. So Toshma. When you take a shvuah min haTorah, nishboin v'lo mishalmin. You take a shvuah and you don't pay what is being claimed against you. Ve'elu, but there's a few exceptions. Elu nishboin v'noitlim. The following take a shvuah and collect. Hasachir. A worker who's claiming payment from his balabais. He takes a shvuah that I worked 8 hours and he gets his wages. Hanigzal. Somebody was stolen from, so he swears, this is what was stolen from me, he gets paid. V'anechbal. Person who's claiming damages because he was wounded. Or shekenegdo choshed ala shvuah. Normally, the guy who makes the claim doesn't take the shvuah to collect. The guy who the claim is made against him says, I paid, I don't owe any more, and I take a shvuah, and he doesn't have to pay. But if he's choshid to not be an honest person, then the claimant, the one who's making the claim, can take the shvuah and take the money. The storekeepers used to keep like a credit that people owed them, and they say they didn't take. Or the Chenvedi says, listen, I was told to pay worker such and such, and I gave him. And they say, no, we didn't take. So there, Nishboin v'notim, there, they can take a shvuah and take it from him. A woman who said that I was given part of the ksuba, but not with edim. Shelo be'edim in, be'edim lo. So, l'chora, the answer to our question, what's the din about edim? It doesn't work. The Gemara says, no, there's no proof from there. Lo maboy comer. Lo maboy be'edim. It's certainly, not only in the case of edim, the vadai tzricha shvuah. There, that certainly for her to get paid, and there were edim that said that part of it was paid, she'd have to take a shvuah. Aval shelo be'edim. There are no edim. Maybe Maybe it's like a finding a lost object. I mean, if she admitted on her own, it's like it's like a found object. And maybe the rest will be given to her without a shvuah. Kamash Balon, that no, it has to be taken with a shvuah. She claims that she was paid from the ksuba less than a shava pruta. Now, kivin de could daika kulahai. Listen, she was very careful. Maybe kushta kamra. So maybe we believe her this time without a shvuah. Oidilme rume karume. Maybe she's tricking. So teku. We don't have an answer. Iboilu pocheses kubasa mau. She says that the value of the ksuba was not as much as it was purported to be. It was less. It's the same case. Odilma pogemes, she's a moida b'miktzas. Ha lokamoida b'miktzas. She's not admitting that any part was paid. The toshma poches is tipar shelo b'shvuah. she can pay the lesser ksuba without a shvua. Kate said, "Haisa ksuba sel of zuz." The face value of the ksuba was $1,000. The armor law, and the husband says it's kabal ksuba saif. I paid you. The omer lois kabalti. I didn't receive a penny, but the ksuba was worth only mana. Nifro shelo b'shvua. She can get paid without a shvua. Now, b'mai gavi, what do you mean? What are you going to collect with? The high star chas b'valmu. She clearly has said the star isn't worth the paper it's written on because it got the wrong value. You know what? There was, to show the bank, they wrote it for a higher amount, but between them, they had a deal that it was really less, that I would only request a lesser amount. But the star was a good star. It's called the star Amona. One aid says that there was payment. And yet she has to take a shvua. The shvua that she takes to get paid is a shvua deraisa. D'chsiv lo yakum eid echad beish l'chol avon l'chol chatos. L'chol avon l'chol chatos, to make him liable for malchus and punishment. One aid doesn't do that. Hu deina kam aval kamu l'shvua. But one aid might even create a shvua deraisa. Whenever 2 aid makes somebody pay money, one aid will at least make him take a shvua that he doesn't know it. So Rava says nothing doing. Number one, whenever you take a shvua midaraisa, you don't take a shvua and collect. Take a shvua and you don't pay. And in this case, she's taking a shvua and getting paid. Otherwise, the Baal will be upset, so we make her take a shvua. Very good, everybody.
Is star upon a valid thing? It's a cheat. It's not honest though. We don't. It's not really what's written in it. What's written in it is more.
Okay, but they say, but we had an haskem, but the star is not the shakronos. We wrote it to show a higher value for whatever reason they wanted to do that, but between us we had a different deal.
So we okay. Thank you.
We allow that. Tomorrow 8 o'clock. Tomorrow 8 o'clock.
Okay, so yeah, you never caught up all the Daf, Ernie.